Well, here's a presentation of the good news of Jesus that you can sketch out on a napkin, or you can even use it with gestures if you don't have anything to write on. The feature of this presentation that's important is that I think it improves on the more traditional brief presentations of the gospel, which tend to focus more on a decision or a prayer. And this broadens that out to emphasize what I would call the discipleship gospel. So let's take a look. First of all, the first circle, we were created for loving fellowship with God. God's original plan was a beautiful world inhabited by loving people living in perfect harmony with God and with each other. But true love must be freely chosen. And that choice was rejected at some point, as we see in the book of Genesis. Our human ancestors decided to rebel against God's design, and that issued in a world of sin, a world of brokenness. The Bible defines that rupture in relationship as sin. We entered a state of brokenness, sin, rebellion, and it's obvious now, and ever since then, we can just look around us and see the brokenness everywhere, and we can see it within ourselves. No human being really wants to stay in that broken condition, but what can we do? Well, we try many different methods of escaping that brokenness. We try money and success. We try alcohol and drugs. We try relationships that we think might fix the brokenness we feel. We even try just being a good person or being a religious person. However, those attempts to escape brokenness just snap us back, kind of like a rubber band that's extended to its limit and then snaps us back into brokenness. Well, what did God do? He decided to address this hopeless situation by coming to us as a human being. Jesus, who was God's son and king. He lived a perfect sinless life. He was killed on the cross to pay the debt of our sin, and he conquered death by rising on the third day, which validated everything that he had said about himself, everything that he had done, and everything that he promised. So, what do we do about this monumental event in history called the incarnation of Jesus? Well, the invitation is to turn away from our brokenness, our broken way of living, and receive the good news of Jesus, receive him as our King, as our Savior from sin, as our guide. And so we trust him. We start down a whole new direction in life along with Jesus. There's an image of a yoke that Jesus uses, which is a farm implement that connects two oxen together so they can do more work and pull a plow and such. Well, Jesus invites us to take his yoke on us, and he says that his yoke really is easier and lighter than any other yoke you could wear. And we all must wear some kind of yoke in this world. As we follow King Jesus, as we slip into his yoke, we become more and more like him. He rubs off on us. We are changed. We are transformed. And we invite others onto this pathway of transformation along with us. So, returning to the whole picture that you could draw out on a napkin, you have the three circles. The ideal world, which once existed and will one day exist for those who take advantage of God's plan. We have the world of brokenness that we can only escape by turning and trusting in Jesus and then following him along a path of transformation and eventually restoration. So where are you in this picture? Where would you like to be? Does this framework make sense to you? If you have not yet chosen this path, is anything keeping you from turning, trusting, and following Jesus right now?